This event is designed to simulate stair climbing to get to the fire floor while carrying equipment. You will make 6 trips up and down one flight of stairs to shuttle one piece of equipment during each trip. Your score will be the time that it takes you to complete the event. You will position yourself at the start area and await the Ready, Go command. Once issued the Go command, you will pick up the object labeled number 1 and carry it up the flight of stairs to the top. When you reach the top, you will place the object in the designated area and then return down the stairs to retrieve another object. The timer will run continuously while you shuttle objects. Remember that firefighters pace themselves when performing tasks at the fire scene to ensure they do not get too exhausted and to balance speed and safety. On the second trip, you will carry the object labeled number 2 and move it to the designated area at the top of the steps. Once properly placed, you will return to the ground level for the next object. You will repeat these steps to shuttle objects number 3, 4, 5, and finally number 6. Once you ascend the 6th time with the final object and place it in the designated area, the monitor will shout "Stop" to end the performance time for this event. Once the monitors record your time on the score sheet, they will immediately begin timing a 5-minute equipment return and recovery period. During this 5-minute period, you must shuttle all 6 objects down the steps and return them to their starting positions on the first floor. There are no requirements for how quickly you begin the work to return the items or the sequence in which you carry the objects. In addition, you are permitted to carry as many as 2 objects in a single return trip if you desire. The only requirement is that you finish shuttling all equipment down and placing each item back in its original position prior to the end of the 5-minute recovery period to avoid disqualification. If you have any time remaining once the last object has been returned, you may sit or stand during the remainder of the recovery period. Please take note of the following. When ascending or descending the stairs, both during the time test and the timed return and recovery period, you may not skip any steps. You must step on every step for safety reasons. You are permitted to use the handrail at any time if desired. You must carry the equipment. You cannot drag it. Do not drop or throw any piece of equipment. You must set it into place. If you haven't completed the equipment return within 4 minutes, the monitor will announce you only have 1 minute to return all equipment to its starting position to avoid disqualification. Resetting the equipment for the next candidate is required in order to receive a passing time for this event and avoid disqualification. This event is designed to simulate handling a 14-foot straight ladder and raising the fly on an extension ladder. Your score will be the time required to complete the event. You will get into position inside the start area. The monitor will first issue the Ready followed by Go command. On Go, you will first approach the hanging ladder. Remove the ladder from the hooks. Walk sideways with the ladder until you reach the yellow marked box on the floor. Place the ladder on the floor within the marked area. Then return to the ladder station to the pulley portion of the event and stand with at least 1 foot inside the marked box on the floor. While keeping at least 1 foot inside the box, you will grab the rope in order to raise and lower the weight with a hand-over-hand motion. Finally, go back across the floor to the 14-foot ladder. Return the ladder by reversing your steps and finally placing the ladder back onto the 2 hooks with the black tape on the ladder aligned with the black tape on the hooks. When the ladder is properly resting on both posts and you remove your hands from the ladder, the monitor will shout "Stop." Please remember, do not leave the starting area until the monitor says go. Do not drop the ladder or place it sideways in the designated area. It may not be touching any of the painted lines for the box. Keep at least 1 foot inside of the painted pull box while raising and lowering the weight. Do not drop the weight. Lower it with a hand-under-hand motion. Finally, please note specific rungs on the ladder have been marked with colored tape to indicate balance points. You may want to hold on to either the 2 blue-colored rungs or the 2 orange-colored rungs while you perform this event, so the ladder will be balanced in your hands. However, you are permitted to grip whatever rungs are comfortable to you. This event will require you to drag 50 feet of 1 3/4 inch hose through a U-shaped structure with a low ceiling, and then continue to advance the hose while you remain in a stationary position. Your score will be the time required to complete the event. At the start, you will position yourself beside the hose, but you cannot touch the hose until the event starts. On the command go, you will grab the hose and drag the hose through the U-shaped tunnel. While dragging the hose, you must hold onto the hose within the first 8 feet. In addition, while inside the tunnel, you must keep at least one knee on the floor as you and the hose advance through the tunnel. When you exit the tunnel, continue to advance the leading end of the hose several feet until your body is inside the marked box on the floor. Once inside the box, you will stop and switch from moving with the hose to advancing the hose while you remain stationary in the box. From either a kneeling or seated position, you will feed the hose away from the U-shaped tunnel over the solid yellow line until the orange duct tape line, marking the last 8 feet of the hose, is fed across the solid yellow line. The stop command will be issued when the orange tape near the end of the hose crosses the solid yellow line on the floor. Finally, once the event ends, although you will no longer be timed, you are required to take one end of the hose and straighten it out to reset the event for the next candidate during your initial recovery from this event. A monitor will hold the leading end of the hose on the start line as you stretch the hose out straight. Resetting the hose for the next candidate is required in order to receive a passing time for this event and avoid disqualification. Please note you can move through the structure in either a left to right or right to left direction. If you wish to start on the opposite side, inform the monitor so the hose can be moved before starting the event. Remember, do not pick up the hose or cross the starting line until the monitor says go. This event simulates the way you would break through a door to gain entry into a burning structure. You will be using a 12-pound sledgehammer to strike a rubber pad mounted on a weighted post. You will be required to move the post 10 inches to its stopping point. Your score will be the time it takes to move the post. You may stand on either side of the sledgehammer. Prior to the start of the event, you can select a comfortable grip on the sledgehammer with the cuff between your hands. However, before the event can begin, the head of the sledgehammer must be touching the floor inside the painted box. In addition, at all times during this event, the movable cuff on the handle of the sledgehammer must remain positioned between your two hands. At the command go, you must pick up the sledgehammer and begin striking the rubber pad. The blows must use a punching stroke with the hands separated on the handle to ensure control of the sledgehammer. Keeping the cuff between your hands ensures you will be using a punching motion. If you feel too tired to continue striking the pad, you may rest. However, the clock will continue to run, and your score will be lowered by the additional time. When you have completed the 10-inch distance, the monitor will shout stop. Remember, make sure that the sledgehammer head remains touching the floor until the monitor says go. This event will simulate searching for a victim at a fire scene by requiring you to navigate through an enclosed area. You will be required to move through the enclosed area on your hands and knees. Your score will be the time it takes to get through the area. You will begin this event by kneeling inside the covered box near the entrance to the course. The monitor will close the door before issuing the ready followed by go command. Do not start when the door closes. On the command go, you will enter and crawl through the course as quickly as you can. Please note that you will encounter 3 obstacles as you navigate the maze. At one point, the ceiling will be lowered by about 1 foot. At another point, the floor will be raised by about 1 foot. Finally, at another point, the sidewalls will be narrowed by about 1 foot. The order these obstacles were just listed may not be the order in which you encounter them. If you have problems in the maze or panic, shout for help, and you will be helped out through one of the exits. If you come to a dead end, it means you got turned around and returned to the start box, since it is the only other end for the course. If that happens, turn around and go the other direction to find the other end of the maze. Please note, if you emerge at the end of the event without your helmet, the clock will continue to run while you retrieve it and wear it to the finish line. If you need to be helped out of the maze, you will fail the event and may be disqualified from further testing. Remember, do not enter the maze until I say go. The event will stop when your helmet crosses the finish line at the other end of the course. This event is designed to test your ability to drag an unconscious victim from a burning building or other similar structure. Your score will be the time it takes to complete this event. You will begin this event by positioning yourself beside the bag located behind the marked line near the entrance to the course. If you wish, you can reposition the bag while the monitor finishes the instructions, but The bag must remain entirely behind the start line. The monitor will issue the commands ready, followed by go. On the go command, you will grasp the bag and drag it across the line through the tunnel to the far end of the course. You may not carry the bag in your arms or on your shoulders or back. When you and the bag have completely crossed the marked line at the other end of the course, the monitor will shout stop. Remember, do not grab any part of the bag until the monitor says go. You may not grab the metal framing to pull yourself along or wedge your foot against the metal post to push yourself along the course. This event tests your ability to use a ceiling hook or pipe pole to tear down a ceiling after a fire during overhaul activities. This event consists of 4 one-minute work bouts and 3 30-second rest periods. You will be pushing against a force of 60 pounds and pulling a force of 80 pounds. Your score on this event will be the total number of complete repetitions for each 1-minute set. The monitor will issue the commands ready, followed by go. On the go command, you will pick up the first pole and push it up once against the hinge door overhead until the door hits the stop plate. If the door does not hit the stop plate, the monitor will shout miss, and you must repeat the push until the door hits the stop plate. Replace the pole in the box. Step to the second pole and pull it down 5 times. Each properly completed pull will cause the horizontal bar to hit the stop plate. If the bar does not make contact with the stop plate, then you must then repeat the pull until you complete 5 proper pull downs. If you do not repeat a missed part of the repetition, the entire repetition will not count. After successfully completing the pull down action, move back to the first pull and repeat 1 push and 5 pulls until you complete 1 minute of work. Only full repetitions of 1 push and 5 pulls will be counted. A monitor will shout out a count of the number of each full repetition you complete during the work bout. After 1 minute, the monitor will shout stop, after which you will stop for a 30-second rest period. You will repeat this sequence 3 more times. When you have completed the 4th 1-minute work bout, the monitor will shout stop to end the event. Remember, do not pick up the first pole until the monitor says go.